Hey everyone, I am Nixie and we are here today to talk all things manga. Super excited, specifically new release manga that I've recently read. That's what we're going to talk about today. So grab a drink, grab a snack. I'm going to try and make this one not as long as my other videos. So let's get into it. Just imagine that there's like some cool transition happening now while we get into it. So what I want to talk about first is actually Seven Seas. So quite exciting. They've done a couple of imprints under obviously Seven Seas to make it easier for customers to find the sort of manga that they're interested in and that they want to read. So you've got the airship imprint, which is like the main Seven Seas logo, which sort of you can see here. But they've also recently come out with Ghost Ship and Steamship. So Ghost Ship is sort of for mature readers, some spicy reads, sort of like focusing more on like the male audience and male gaze. And then Steamship is created for mature women, spicy stories, sexy stories, that sort of thing. And then also coming out later on this year, we have a boys love label and a girls love label, which is amazing. So it just makes it so much easier for people to find the sort of stories that they're after, and it just makes it so much simpler. So I'm really excited for that. I'm also really excited that under the boys love label, they're releasing Titan's Bride. That's quite exciting. At least I find it to be anyway. So yeah, the boys love and girls love labels will be sort of out later this year, and they're releasing 6 titles under those. So 3 boys love, 3 girls love. So I've got a couple of the new mangas under those imprints. So the first one I'm going to talk about is the Ghost Ship. So this is what the new little logo, and it says Ghost Ship there, and this is called I'm Not Meat. So this was a good read. So this is about, what's his name? I'm going to butcher all the names again, as you know by now. Kunio? This guy. So he is working in an ad agency, and he has an absolute passion for wildlife and animals, and he's also deathly afraid of women, which I don't blame him. From some of the experiences that he's been having, it definitely shows like the ugly side of women, and unfortunately there are women out there that are like the characters in this book, like sort of women who think it's okay for, you know, sexual assault, but you know, that's all fine, just because they're women or whatever. And obviously it doesn't matter what gender you are, what setting you're in, sexual assault is not okay. So this poor guy, he keeps getting hit on by all these different women that are really like pushy, but because he's definitely afraid of women, he sees all of these women as apex predators, which they very much are like that. So it is a bit of a comedy. It's about his experience. He's trying to open up to women, and he's trying to work through his like difficulties interacting with them and how he perceives women. But like he keeps saying, like he just wants to find someone that he can fall in love with and have like a great relationship with, and you know, get over this fear, which, you know, is understandable, but women are making it very, very difficult. But yeah, there's a lot of humour in this, a lot of comedy, which made it even more enjoyable to read, and I'm intrigued to see the next volume, see what happens. I really hope, like, in this manga, like, I did feel really bad for the main character, because he does get treated just like he is an object, and it's just like awful, but he deals with it fairly well. His friend though is sort of like, oh, you know, you got these women like throwing themselves at you, you know, you should just go out there and enjoy your life, and he's like, no, I want to fall in love with someone, which like is completely understandable. I love the artwork as well. Let's see. there is, it definitely is for mature readers, I will say that. But yeah, I love the artwork as well. So this is, you can see that there's a group of women basically stood around him, and this is how he actually perceives them, as these apex predators. So yes, it's definitely a good read. Like I say, it did make me feel slightly uncomfortable with like how the women were acting, but unfortunately I think that's because I've known women like this in real life, and it is uncomfortable. But like I say, he deals with it fairly well. I will give him that, and he does manage to like push them away. But yeah, looking forward to the next volume of this for sure. Okay, and then next I've picked up under the Steamship imprint from Seven Seas. I picked up all of their releases that they have currently available. So they've got 3 out now. There's a 4th one coming out fairly soon. Ladies on Top, I think it's called. So these stories are intended for sort of like the female gaze, and those sort of like sexy romances. So the first one that I read was Game Between the Suits, and I saw this a while ago for a pre-order, and I don't know why I pre-ordered it in the first place, to be honest, because it didn't really seem like my sort of story that I was really interested in. But I thought, do you know what, I'm branching out. I don't really have any limitations on like what sort of manga I do pick up, so I thought, do you know what, I quite liked the cover, so I was like, I'll give it a go anyway. So this is about Sayo, which is the lady here. She's basically married to her work. She's thrown herself into work, and that is her main focus, and is essentially like ruined all of her relationships that she's had with guys. She's just, it's work. She does overtime. She takes phone calls outside of office hours. She stays late. It's all about the work, and you know, the guys do get frustrated with it. They're like, you know, how can you be with me, but you never spend time with me? You know, I don't feel like you're giving me the attention and all that sort of stuff. So the book starts off that she's broke up with like her current partner, and so she throws herself into work even more, and she's asking for overtime. And there's a couple of new joiners that join the office, and one of them, his name is Ryochi. This guy, anyway, he's one of the new joiners, and he has Playboy written all over him. A definite womanizer, you know, he's a big flirt. And honestly, when I started reading this, I didn't like him at all. I was like, ugh, you know, he gave me like the ick. He was one of those types of people. And I was like, yeah, I just don't like this guy, and I don't like his vibe. I don't like how he's quite aggressively flirtatious with people, touchy-feely. I'm not a touchy-feely person at all, so I was like, ugh. But so it's basically about their interactions. He meets her, and he's like, he has got a bullseye on her, and he's like, this woman who's like uptight, career driven, just focused on her work and nothing else. Like, I'm gonna get her. Like, that's his thing. So she is like, I don't think so. But he's like just relentless. So she's like, fine, I'll sleep with you. There's gonna be nothing more, and whoever falls in love like loses, basically. So it's kind of like, to her, it's like a game. But throughout this volume, it's so intriguing. Like, I'm super excited for like the next volumes that are coming out, because as the story goes on, you see more and more that there's more than meets the eye. There's definitely like a lot of layers to this story, and it's almost got like a somber, almost sad loneliness feel to the book, which makes me want to see through that. Like, I want to see these people happy and have something more fulfilling in their life, shall we say. And I hope that they get that. I'm intrigued to find out more about him as well. There's definitely a reason why he has like the playboy, you know, doesn't take life seriously sort of attitude, and you do see like a couple of breaks in that almost like act where you sort of like see a bit of like their true selves. So yeah, I am super excited for the next volume. Again, obviously under the steamship, so it's mature. There is some spicy stuff that happens in it, but it is kind of like censored almost. Like you don't see too much like an odd boob here and there or whatever, but it's kind of like sophisticatedly done, should we say. But yeah, so you can pre-order volumes 2 and 3, which will be coming out I think this year, so you don't have to wait too long, or maybe one later this year, one next year, but yeah, they're coming out fairly quick anyway, so super excited for this one. Next, under the steamship imprint, we have Outbride, Beauty and the Beast. So this is a gorgeous cover, by the way. I also love with these steamship covers that it is matte and glossy as well, like the title's glossy, but it's like a matte as well. And then on the back as well, this is like glossy here, but it's all matte here. Like, I'm a textures person. I love like touching textures and things, so this makes me happy. So yes, Outbride. So this is about Mashiro, this lady here. So she's just going about her day, and she helps someone out on her way home, which leads her to go like a different path home, and unfortunately she gets hit by a car and she dies. However, she wakes up and she's in a completely different world, and it turns out that it's actually 2,000 years later, and she's been woken up, and you find out that the Earth is actually collided with another like planet, and on this planet there's like these celestial beings that are like different like clans that rule over different areas. So when the planets collided, the humans basically got wiped out, and she is the last remaining human. So she was awoken by 4 of these rulers, 4 of these selected beasts from different areas, from these different clans. They basically clubbed together to fix her up and to bring her back to life, so she could essentially be a baby machine. You find out why it's really essential for them to like basically get her pregnant, for her to have these like hybrid babies. And of course, like waking up to that, finding out, you know, all your family, friends, everyone's dead around you, and it's a completely different world, and then these 4 guys are like, hey, I'm gonna impregnate you as quickly as possible, if possible. You would be like, what the hell is happening? So obviously she freaks out, and you get introduced to the 4 characters, these 4 guys, each very different. I like the fact that they are really different as well from each other. Some of them are more forceful than others, but I am interested to see how this happens. So one of the main plots in the story is that because she is human and she's in this like celestial world, she gets like poisoning, because obviously she's a human, her body's not accustomed to the planet and all that sort of stuff. And if you cannot guess already, the way that to combat this poisoning is to swap bodily fluids. Yes, that is how she is prevented from dying, basically. But yeah, I'm intrigued to know more about why these babies are essential to life on this planet. There's definitely a lot of story there. Like I say, I do like the fact that the characters are very different from each other. She is definitely like panicking as well, so it'd be interesting to see her relationship developments between each of these people, because obviously everyone else is not around that she's known, so she's basically stuck with these 4 guys. But yeah, quite spicy if you cannot guess already from the plot. But yeah, I'm excited for the next ones. There are a few that you can order as well, like pre-order. So we'll see where this story takes us. I'm quite tired today, and I don't think this coffee is really going to help. So the last one that's out on the steamship is I'll Never Be Your Crown Princess. Now what I like about these steamship stories that they've released so far is that they are very different from each other. They all have a different feel, like as regards to the storyline and the like main characters, which is great. Obviously there's just these three at the minute, so it makes it worth picking up, that they're not like copycats of each other. So this one, I'll Never Be Your Crown Princess. So this is about Liddy, which is this lady here, and Frederick. Finally, some names that I can pronounce. So this is about these two. So he is a prince, and it's one of those where arranged marriage. So these two are set to be engaged. Liddy is like, hell no, I don't want to be a crown princess. Like, I want to do more with my life than that. How am I going to get out of it? How am I going to break this off? And the way that she's going to be able to break it off is by losing her virginity, because you can't be a queen if you've lost your virginity before you get married, or you lose it to someone else. So she's like, aha, that's it, I'll just go sleep with someone and then problem solved, I can break off the engagement. So she goes to a masquerade ball, where she can obviously hide her identity. She's very different from the other nobles and high class people that frequent these masquerade balls and stuff, so she kind of sticks out a little bit. So she goes there and she meets this guy. This guy's kind of taken aback by her because she doesn't know the etiquette, basically. And they sleep together, plans going swimmingly, perfect, done, job done. Like, virginity, who's she? So it doesn't go to plan, obviously, it does not. It kind of felt like it was kind of a bit of a predictable story. However, I think for like the first volume it needed to be that, so you get the gist of like where the story's going. You're like, right, okay, I had to see that this is coming, but it kind of opens it up now for like lots of different options to happen, and the story could basically go anywhere. So like I feel like the next few volumes are going to be really good to see which direction the story actually goes in, and to see how this engagement is or isn't going to go. So yeah, I still recommend it. I recommend all of the steamship mangas that they've released so far. Like I say, they've got another one coming out, I believe in September or October, which is Ladies on Top, which sounds again completely different to the ones that have been released, and it sounds interesting, so I'm definitely going to go pick that up when it comes out as well. But yeah, I'm excited that Seven Seas has done these imprints for people, so it does make it like easier for people to pick up different stories depending on what sort of like mood they're in or what sort of stories they want. And if you are sort of like looking for those more mature reads, it's right there in front of you, like really straightforward to find those stories. Okay, next, this one came out fairly recently. This is probably the oldest one out of everything that I've had, so I'm not going to go on too long about it, but I did want to include it here. I mentioned it before in one of my previous videos, but I finally read Until I Meet My Husband, which is a true story in manga format. This is beautiful. It's kind of hard to read in some places, like with his experience, but it's so good. I'm happy that I finally read it. But yeah, so this is what's his name? Ryusuke. This guy, and it's basically his dating experience as a gay man in Japan back in the 90s, I think it was, 2000s even. So it was like when people weren't sort of like comfortable being out there like openly gay and stuff. So it's about his experiences finding his husband, and it's such a hard read, and I felt so bad for him throughout this, but I'm happy. I will spoil it. It is a happy ending, thank God. But yeah, if you see this, if BL is something that you're into, then this is definitely a must read. It does make me want to pick up the novel, but the essays that he's drawn about his life as well, because I want to know more about these like experiences and interactions and stuff. So definitely pick this up. It's a must read. Okay, and a little fun read. So this is Nights with a Cat. Oh my days. If you have a cat or you're familiar with cats, this, like, you need to pick this up. This was so much fun to read. So this is about Futa, this guy, and he lets his sister come and live with him, and she's got a cat. So it's about his experiences with this cat, having no experience with cats before, and sort of like how they behave, and it is so spot on. I love as well the artwork in it. So it is a very muted palette, which I quite like. It's so fun. Yeah, so it's a muted palette. It's quite quirky, but this had me giggling so much while I was reading it, and in particular, one of my cats. So yeah, in particular, one of my cats actually sits like this. If you can see this, like here, with her legs like, and it's so funny. It makes me laugh every time I see a sat like that. But yeah, it's spot on, absolutely spot on with like the behaviors, the mannerisms, what they do, their attitude. It's such a fun read. This is for all ages, and yeah, if you want something light to read and you like cats, then this is for you. It's a must read, and there's more than one volume as well. So the second one comes out soon, which I cannot wait for that. Okay, next we have a boys' love. This is The Other World's Books Depend on the Bean Counter. What a mouthful. So this came out August, and then shockingly enough, Volume 2 landed on my doorstep just the other day. I am really into this story. So this is about Kondu, which is this guy here. He is another one of these people that is just absolutely he's just living to work, and he's absolutely just worn down, like from work. Like that's his life, it's just work. One day he's coming home and he hears this woman like screaming, and he's like, oh my gosh, what's going on? So he goes to investigate, and he finds this woman basically in the ground, like halfway through a portal, and he's like, oh my gosh, what the hell is happening? So he actually goes to help her, tries to pull her out. Instead he gets sucked in, and he arrives at this completely other realm, like this brand new land that he doesn't know, and the people that greet him there were actually just after this woman. So they summoned this woman who's supposed to be their holy maiden, and he's an extra, so he's sort of like, well, what am I supposed to do? Why am I here? And they're like, well, we can't send you back, so you know, you can live here if you want. So his first thought, as it would be, is like, okay, give me a job. I'm an accountant, I can do accounting stuff, like an actual accountant, not a TikTok accountant. So yeah, he's like, let me work, let me stay here then and work for living here. So that's what happens. He becomes an accountant. He's sort of like learning their ways and everything, and he really gets stuck into it. And he's found that they do these like nutritional tonics, and he gets a bit of a taste for it, and he's like, oh my god, I'm waking up refreshed, I don't need as much sleep, my back doesn't hurt, you know, I haven't got bags under my eyes. So he kind of goes a little bit overboard with these nutritional tonics, which kind of gets him into a bit of a situation. Enter Arish, which is this guy here, who is a very handsome guy. So yes, enter him. He is a captain of one of these sort of like knights groups, and he is one of the people who can actually wield magic as well. So they have a whole situation that happens. Yes, look how beautiful he is. So that's a Rish. So yes, it's about him trying to live in this brand new world, get accustomed, trying not to get in trouble, and trying to stay alive. But yeah, he's absolutely obsessed with like accounting, and he's turning things upside down. You kind of forget that this is a BL, like as you're reading it, but there's so much going off with like this holy maiden, the accounting stuff, and then you've got the BL element on top. So it's an easy read, but there is also like a lot going off in there, and it keeps it super interesting. Like I could not wait for volume 2, so I'm so happy that it came so quickly, and I can't wait for the next volume as well. I think Country of Origin, there are maybe 6 volumes or something out, so, and it's still ongoing, so I think, you know, this is going to be a decent sized series. It kind of gives me that sort of like Titan's Bride vibe, just definitely not as spicy, but that's sort of like taken to another world and you've got these responsibilities and stuff. It does kind of give me that sort of same vein storyline sort of thing, but it's really enjoyable. I enjoyed it a lot more than what I thought I was going to, so I'm excited for the next one of this. Okay, and then also what recently came out, which I was quite anticipating, was the 100 Bookstore Gateway to a Parallel Universe. So this is volume 2. This is taking quite a while to come out, I feel like. There is a novel series as well, which is coming out super quick, it feels like. But this is a teen, and I feel like it's suitable for a lot of ages. So this is about the spirit world, and there is a lady, Kaori, which is not on the cover. She is actually human in the spirit world. She works there, and she does a lot of interacting with the different spirits. Like, she's very popular there. And one day Sumi ends up in the spirit world, and he's actually an exorcist, and he is on a mission to find someone to avenge his mother. And I kind of felt like the first volume was a little bit slow, but it definitely picked up towards the end, and so that's why I was anticipating this one. It is a light read. There's not a lot of like drama. I feel like things that crop up get resolved very easily. So I'm not entirely sure where they're going to take it in the next volumes. So I'm intrigued to see that, where the storyline goes, because like I say, things crop up but then they get resolved fairly quickly. So I felt like I sort of got through this really quick. It was a quick read. Bits and bobs happened here and there, and I haven't really got that much more to say on it other than it's a light read. I think it would be really good for teens, sort of like that, who are into like the fantasy, ghosts, spirits, quirky characters, that sort of thing. Yeah, that's basically all I can say about it, but I still enjoyed it though. Okay, next we have Kimono Jihen, which is this. This came out fairly recently. Also, if there's anyone that's watching this that reads BL webtoons, this character here reminds me so much of the guy out of Search Towards You. Like, he looks like him, and that's all I can think of when I've like read this. But yes, this is basically about so this is about Dorotabo, this guy, and he's working with his auntie. He's sort of like, people don't take notice of him and they sort of like brush him off to one side and stuff. Like, he's just basically left to work outside. That like, he stinks, he needs to stay away from people. And there seems to be an issue with like livestock dying off. So they've hired someone, which is Inugami. They've hired this detective to come and obviously find out what's been happening. And I don't want to spoil it too much, but I will say that the guy that comes in, the detective, is from a monster agency where he specializes in certain like demons and creatures to sort of stop them from wreaking havoc in the world. So this is about them. It took a lot of twists and turns throughout this volume, and it was very interesting to read. There's also a character in here that reminds me of Bakugo. But yes, this guy kind of reminds me of Bakugo from My Hero Academia. That's what I could think while I was reading this as well. But yeah, this was super interesting. You can pre-order up to volume 4, I believe. And I'm super excited about this. So, you know, you're looking at demons, monsters, detective work, murder, all that sort of really great stuff. So this, very, very interesting. I really loved this. I thought that I was going to enjoy it anyway from like the synopsis and everything. And like I said, pre-ordered this a while ago. So I was happy that it finally arrived. And it didn't disappoint. So if you're into that sort of thing, then definitely check this out. Like, I haven't heard people talking about this, and more people need to talk about this because the first volume was great, like spot on. And then lastly, we have something that I've been dying to get. So this is Suzuki Amina volume 6 finally came out. Oh my days. So I love this series. This is my comfort series. Like, if I need a bit of a pick-me-up, then Suzuki Amina it is. The anime is great as well. If you do watch the anime, if you can, watch it in subbed, not dubbed. Like, for the dubbed, they kind of picked, like, to me, sort of like goofy voice actors, and I don't want to be like disrespectful to the voice actors, but they just don't suit the characters whatsoever. So if you can watch it in the subbed, then watch it in the subbed. It suits the characters so much more. But yeah, Suzuki Amina volume 6 finally here. I was so excited for this. So this basically finishes off where the anime finishes off, which is the volume everyone has been waiting for. This is such a slow burn, but it's so worth it. Like, the interactions between these characters, there's no drama, there's no red flags, everyone is a green flag, and it's just, if you're new to BL, like, this is a perfect start. Like, this is an absolutely amazing start. It's non-explicit as well, so it is suitable for you know, a lot more ages. And it's just it's adorable. I love it. There's nothing wrong with this manga at all. I'm so happy that it is an ongoing series, because this feels like a bit of climax volume that everyone's been waiting for, but I'm so happy that it does continue. I believe in Country of Origin that is volume 9 has been released and it's still ongoing, so I'm happy that it's going to be a longer series, because like I said, this is my comfort series. It's just one of those, like, I'm pretty much dead inside, so this is one that actually makes me feel warm and fuzzy inside. So I was like, I love it. I can't say enough good things about it. So definitely pick this up if you are into wholesome, cute things, romances, BL. This is the one that you need to pick up. Okay, so that's what I've read that are new releases, and I've got a couple of TBR new releases as well, which I'm just going to quickly mention. So the first one is Momo, the Blood Taker. I have started this and I've only got a little bit left to read. I just couldn't keep my eyes open last night while I was trying to read it. So this is a vampire story. We love vampires here. We have a soft spot for all things vampire related, and I pre-ordered this a while ago purely on the cover, actually. Before I saw that it was a vampire story, I was like, ooh, pretty covers, and I get sucked in. But yeah, so this is a vampire story. This is about what's his name, Kyugo. He's a rather quirky character, a bit of an oddball. He's a detective, and there's a string of murders going off where the blood's sucked dry from the bodies, and a lot of them are dismembered as well. It's quite gruesome. It is very quite gruesome, just FYI. So he is trying to discover, you know, what's happened, and there's other people on the police force as well that are obviously involved, but he has quite a personal reason to try and find out the killer of these bodies. Like I say, quite gruesome. There's a bit of action, there's a bit of twists and turns as well. It's a bit of a whirlwind. Like, it's been good from start to where I'm at now, and I can't imagine that it's only going to get better, basically. So I'm excited for the other volumes. Again, I think you can pre-order up to volume 4. Super excited. I need to finish this one. But if you love vampire stories, action, vampire stories, detective work again, then definitely pick this up. I've really enjoyed it so far. And then we have Ghost Reaper Girl that I need to read as well. One thing that's irritated me about this is you'll not be able to see it on camera, but this is so uneven. Like, you can feel how uneven like the pages are in this, like they're all misaligned, which is kind of annoying. But yeah, so I've got this one to read. I believe volume 2 is coming out soon as well, but again, this I got sucked in by the covers. I'm a sucker for pretty covers, so I'm intrigued to read this one. So again, this is about like evil spirits and getting rid of those, that sort of thing as well. I don't know too much about this. Like I say, it just sounded interesting, so I've got that one to read. And then lastly, I kind of don't know why I pre-ordered these, but I think I just kind of jumped on that hype bandwagon that I kept seeing everyone. So I've got Tokyo Revengers 1 and 2, and then just released is Tokyo Revengers 3 and 4. I haven't seen the anime of this. I kind of prefer to read manga and then watch the anime, and do it that way. So I haven't watched this yet either, but it's quite thick as well. But yeah, I am kind of excited to see this, more so to kind of see like what the hype is about it, and whether, like, you know, I'm into it, whether I shall also be hyped about it once I've finished reading these. But yes, that's basically what I've got on my TBR list of new releases. I've also got Island in a Puddle as well, volume 3, that's just come out. I've really enjoyed the first one. It was kind of like a few sad bits in it, and a lot of drama. But I'm waiting for volume 2 to arrive, because I still hadn't picked that up, and then I saw that volume 3 was on the way. I was like, I need to pick up volume 2. So I'm excited to get into this as well, because I really enjoyed the first one. I really enjoyed the artwork as well, and I need to know what happens in the story and how they are going to get out of the trouble that they're in. So that is everything that I had. Hopefully this video is a lot shorter than my other videos. I do tend to waffle on, I'm sorry. But leave your recommendations down below of what manga you're reading, what you recommend. Like I say, I don't have a particular genre that I'm like, that I won't read or that I stay away from. Like, I'm kind of into everything. So leave your recommendations down below if there's things that you think I should check out, including animes as well. I do watch quite a few animes, so let me know down below what your favourites are, what you think I should check out. And I hope you're enjoying this little manga series, this little sit down and chit chat. If you are, don't forget to like and subscribe. You can check out more of my manga content over on TikTok, which is just Glamming Horror Wood, which is linked down below. If you want to see like just hauls and unboxings and stuff, I do that over on TikTok. So you can check that out there. And I shall see you in the next one. Bye everyone.